Darn, I shouldn't have done it that way. Faz Radio is live! And I should unmute the other people here. So, yeah. Hi, guys. We're live today. We got some neat stuff going on. I'm kind of still in green room mode, so please excuse me.
It's okay.
I wanted that song to just kind of tease out, and then I was going to start singing, got a happy dog. I got a happy
God damn it, shush.
dog. I've been teasing Titan all day with the song. He hates it, but he heard it the first time. So that's song been running through my head. You've heard the Happy Dog song, haven't you?
Your daughter will love
Yes,
it.
of course. No, I've heard that. I've heard it. We're good.
Okay, somebody
We're
needs to check
definitely
our
good.
sound, Titan, Mr. Sound Guy.
All right, let me do that.
Anyway, so yes, we have Bitbender on today. Titan and I have a lot of questions to ask about the SpiderTanks Economy. He was going to be on yesterday, but he couldn't make it for some reason, and then we got to bug the crap out of Chair Bandit with a bunch of questions. I think that one was a really good cast, and this one I hope will be good. So you'll have two good casts about SpiderTanks.
Okay, let's do it, guys.
All right. Well, I'll start since Titan's going to check our sound here.
Sound check's wonderful. I heard all three of our lovely voices.
Okay. So first of all, I just wanted to show how cool Bitbender was first and just ask some personal questions first. So first of all, how's the cookies?
Cookies are amazing. They're absolutely amazing. They are my grandmother's butter cookies that she makes, and I'm reasonably certain they're made out of crack. There's really no other explanation for these damn things because I could eat like the entire box.
So
in
we
one sitting, no
were
problem.
delayed starting because he was eating a bunch of cookies. And then once he's done chewing the cookies, he's like, "How come you guys haven't started yet?" It's like, okay.
Yeah, it's basically exactly the way that happened for sure.
So, all right. So the next one is, how's the kids doing? Did I hear something a while back that there's another one on the way?
There is another one on the way. The first one is doing quite well, running all over the place. She's at the stage where she repeats absolutely everything she hears. Like the last 3 or 4 words of any sentence she'll repeat, which is adorable. And she's getting into everything and likes to climb around and drop stuff.
Grabbing things off of tables.
Yeah, no, she's at I can reach up to here, but I can't actually see anything, so I'm just going to grab and pull.
And then they, I don't know if it's happened yet, but then they run. After a while, they'll start grabbing things, and then they'll just run.
Well, she does the same thing I did when I was a kid, where she will drop something, but before she drops it, she'll say, "Uh-oh," and then drop it. It's like, yeah.
Well, then after the grab and run stage, they'll realize that if they drop it, that they'll throw you off, and so they'll grab 2 things, run, they'll throw one down, and then they'll keep running.
Look at this distraction! No, it's good times. It's good times. I love being a dad. It's fun.
Well, good. I heartily recommend stopping it too, because after that they outnumber you. You run out of laps. It's not good.
Yeah, cannot go beyond this.
Stress.
We've already discussed that.
I remember the conversation with my wife very well. She was 9 months pregnant, got up in the morning, I had toast in the toaster, and I just turned to her and I said, "We're done with 2, right?"
We're done. This is it.
Yep. That was the whole conversation. All right. Next one is, you've been traveling a lot.
I have, and I'm not done yet, unfortunately.
So, well, I was going to ask how you're handling it, but it's a good way to dovetail into SpiderTanks, because I feel like you're probably talking about SpiderTanks when you're traveling.
I'm talking about a lot of things, man. I mean, the last couple months of travel have been primarily running around doing speaking engagements at various places, speaking at UDC, speaking at Binance Blockchain Week in Paris, but also meeting up with the community and things like that. And it's personally a lot of fun for me to be able to sit in a room with a bunch of people and have a conversation and answer questions, because it's so easy when you're having these you're having these online conversations and you're in Discord and things like that. And it's anytime anything is typed, there's always massive room for misunderstanding and for, not getting the whole point, or the chat is running too fast and you're not able to have like a really solid dialogue. And
that's what we're going to be hitting you on today.
I know. It's great. It's super. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I love hanging out in Discord, but damn, is it easy for people to take things out of context or misunderstand you, or,
It's because they're other people and you use words.
That is true. That is true. But also, it's one of those things that when you're sitting with somebody and you're having a conversation, there different rules apply, right? Even just speaking to you guys right now, different conversational rules apply than if we were in, Twitter or.
Well, yeah, because you can't say things like, you know what I mean, in any sort of text whatsoever. They're like,
right. And when you're hanging out in person and you're saying something and somebody has that look of like pure terrified confusion on their face, okay, wait a minute, hold on, let me back this up and explain this a different way. You don't get to do that in Discord. You just get to say something and they get to take it the wrong way and then, spread it everywhere else. It's super fun.
So I set this up badly, but I left the wrong screen up when we started. But I have some SpiderTanks playing.
Nice.
This is me and Titan. You might have seen in the beginning of this that it wouldn't let us play because our ELO ratings were too far apart.
Yeah, you got to get a third in there, and somehow that makes it better. I don't know why, but it does.
Titan was real butthurt about that for the rest of that night.
Well, yeah, so we talked with Chair Bandit about that. So not only couldn't we play together, but Faz is like, all right, man, hey, go play some solo games and you'll get your ELO up a little bit and then we can play. It wouldn't even let me matchmake because my tank was shitty.
You're so bad.
You suck.
Oh my God. I was so pissed. I threw it down. I'm like, fuck this shit. And he's like, no, wait. We can fix this. I'm like, no.
So we did an exhibition game and I couldn't earn anything, but we got to play.
I got to play a little bit.
And then he sucked so badly that he went off and did other things while I played with other players. So that's what you'll see in this thing today.
We did play one night. Me, Faz, and Family Man played, and
Nice.
Towards the end, I was pissing off Family Man so bad because I'm so bad at the game.
He's solid. Family Man is solid. He's like
those guys
solid.
are good.
Yeah,
they're really good, and I'm spinning around and getting killed every 10 seconds. And he's like, "Dude, why'd you go there?" I'm like, "Uh-oh."
Hey, I've matched up with some people. I managed to kill 3 mafia dudes, Timbo Slice and 2 of his upper lieutenants. Got all 3 of them. And those guys, lava tank, ancients, all that shit. So I'm rather proud of that.
Oh, well done. They're really solid too.
They
kill me a lot.
Let's see, I think I saw a Benefactor one game too. Does he plays?
Oh,
He?
You did. You posted that, yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, he absolutely plays.
All right. I don't know if this is a good question to ask. This is somewhat personal. How are you feeling about Gala games during this current bear market? I mean, people are a little worried. Like, you guys doing okay?
Okay, so this is probably not the answer that people are expecting. I actually feel pretty damn fantastic about it, man.
That's not the answer. I think that they might have expected you to say that.
Well, see, maybe, I don't know, but like the reality is that we and again, this is one of those things that people have a tendency to take out of context. We never accepted any VC funding. There were times where we were having conversations with people who, potentially wanted to invest and things like that. But we never accepted any VC funding for any of the stuff that we've done. And pretty much everyone else in the space accepted funding from these VCs, some of which are not doing so hot at this exact moment.
Well, didn't you? I thought I heard you say about a year ago or something that you actually set it up this way. You designed this to work to build in a bear market.
Yeah, that's the whole idea. Is like how do we set up the entire business in a way that's going to be resilient. Okay, and this isn't always an easy thing to do, but a big part of it comes from not creating situations where other people, where basically the results of all of the work that is being put in is held in the hands of some other entity that can destroy it if they want.
Well, it's hard to scale up a business. I can tell you're scaling up. It's hard to scale up a business while still being resilient at the same time. You're resilient after you scale up, but not during. During it can get a little sketchy.
It's not always easy either. I mean, there's obviously things that we could have done better, and things that we are still working, and things that we're changing, and people that were cycling out and things like that. I mean, they're like, anytime you have a company that grows from like 8 people to over 400 people in 2 years, you're going to have some changes that need to happen. So that's a really, that's just a part of the business. But I mean, for us, focusing on creating a business that will work is really important. And some of the other companies out there, I mean, they're so screwed because so many of their tokens were in the hands of essentially in the hands of a company that is now going to have to liquidate them.
Well, CZ Binance said the other day, never invest in a company or do anything with a company that relies on the sale of their own tokens and stuff. Because a lot of them will sell their tokens to other businesses and say, well, here, this is how you're invested in.
I mean, I think that you saw a lot of that with a lot of these companies that FTX had gotten into. I mean, I don't want to go into like a massive FTX or exchanges commentary, and God knows I don't feel like I don't like picking fights in the industry or anything like that. But I am pretty pleased with where we as a company are.
Okay, so you think you're pretty resilient. That's good. That's I think that makes some of us feel better because you're putting out a lot of games, and there is some worries about you guys being overextended. I mean, what if you put out 6 games? Well, I wasn't going to ask this till later, but I was going to just say, Fuzzles.
Well, okay, so hold on. Let's deal with that for a second. Question: what happens if we're overextended? I think you can look at that from a lot of different ways. I think that when it comes to launching games, it makes me feel really good to be able to see how much is coming, how quickly it's being pushed out and whatnot. Hold on, I'm seeing.
Well, there's the whole multiple streams of income angle, which I think is always good.
Yeah. So the being able to have a whole bunch of different games coming out is fantastic. In terms of overextended in staffing, it's one of those situations where you never have as many people as you want. Yet sometimes weirdly you seem to have more people than you need. It's a matter of getting the exact right people, which is extremely challenging.
Well, I better not go. I wanted to actually hit these later on. I wanted to get into the SpiderTank stuff, but it just dovetailed in so well. But let me switch directions back to SpiderTanks, and then we can ask some more. Sorry, Titan, if I'm not giving you a chance to talk here.
You never do. I'll butt myself in. My questions are a little bit further into the SpiderTanks thing. So all of this stuff, yeah.
Let's start with this first one I got. I got from easy to hard. Has the SpiderTank marketing blitz started yet?
No, it has not.
What are we going to expect with that? What would we see?
Well, okay. So right now what you're seeing is a few ads that are starting to roll out that are primarily test ads. Okay, so you're seeing stuff, you're seeing things, rolling out across. I'm sorry, I'm getting like pinged on Slack messages with questions right now. you're seeing tests where we're testing various creatives on YouTube and things like that. But you're not seeing the full rollout of all of the, partnerships and esports stuff and things like that are all sort of tied together. There's a whole bunch of stuff that's essentially waiting in the wings for a for the exact right moment. But generally speaking, in the industry, hold on, I have to turn off these notifications. There's like 4 conversations that are just absolutely going nuts right now.
Don't say that, Bitbender. Shush! Shush!
I know, right? No. It's just stuff in Slack. The last expedition team is talking about some stuff, and so I'm seeing, that.
We have a question about that at the end.
Yeah, sure. So anyway, no, in short, you haven't seen that yet. You're going to see a lot more in terms of partnerships and pretty massive pushes to bring more users in. That's what it's all about for us.
Something that when I hear a lot of times people getting kind of bent about the fact that Gala Games doesn't have a lot, or why is it taking so long? Yeah, it actually happens.
They get bent?
Yeah, they get bent.
You're kidding.
And I've tried to explain that it's more than just code. Marketing matters.
Yes.
And this is where I'm rather stupid. I know a lot about code and technicals, but apparently timing is a thing in the marketing world.
Oh my God, of course. Well, I mean, the thing is you don't ever want whatever the thing is that you're marketing to get buried underneath some other thing. Okay.
So you're not going to market 12 things at once, is what you're saying.
Well, no, we will market 12 things at once, but we're going to market 12 things at once in different places to different people. Okay, so it's about how do you create the exposure that gets you the largest audience possible. Now, sometimes that audience is something that you're marketing one specific product to. You're looking for a specific type of player. You have like a lookalike audience, for example. So you might push Legends Reborn or something like that to a lookalike audience for Magic the Gathering. Okay, you wouldn't, for example, market Townstar to players of hyper competitive first person shooters. You wouldn't use a lookalike audience for Siege of Tarkov. You're
getting Siege of Tarkov? Yeah. Jesus Christ! You heard it first.
I wish. No. But I don't think we need it because Last Expedition is way fucking cooler there. But yeah, I mean, you know what I'm saying. So yes, well, of course, obviously market all sorts of stuff to all sorts of people, but that's the way that this works. I mean, think of how much marketing is going on in the video game space on a daily basis. Anyway, it's not like there's...
Are you waiting for EOE to come out before really getting serious about SpiderTanks marketing?
No, it is going to be significantly before that.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Well, not come out.
Worry.
I mean, they're going to be doing an alpha, I hear, in December. If I'm not mistaken.
They are, I believe.
They had an AMA. That's all I remember. They did say December. It better not be December 31st at 11:59 p.m. and say, "Well, we told you."
Hey, I don't think that would be the case. I mean, we're pushing a lot of stuff out here these days, guys. I mean, I think that's we're very far from the days now where Townstar was the only thing that anyone was being able to see or play on platform.
Well, that's a good point, because that's something that I'm kind of wondering about. With all these games, let's just say it's a few years from now, and you have 28 games going on simultaneously.
Yep.
I don't think Discord's enough. I mean, I think.
Oh my God, no, it's not. It's totally not.
Discord feels like almost like the very beginning. We started on Discord, and then we had to do things way, 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 way differently.
Yeah.
I mean, it's because your favorite game is going to get lost, and I would think that there would just be a SpiderTanks Discord, SpiderTanks team, SpiderTanks people, and then every once in a while Bitbender might say hello. But I mean, I wouldn't think that you would be able to, if you go
I can't,
where,
dude.
where
I
you're
can't. I
threatening
can't
to
keep.
go.
I can't keep up with what we've got going on right now personally. I mean, I posted about this on Twitter today. You know, Gala Film has a project that they're working on, where basically Benefactor and Bucks are co-producing with The Rock on a documentary. What the fuck?
Is that a leak?
It's not a leak. It's
Okay.
a thing that is happening, and I
Okay.
just didn't know about it.
Okay.
Like I just simply did not know, because there's so much going on that apparently working with The Rock did not rise to my level of consciousness. Like, what the hell? So yeah. I mean, that's we're definitely at the point where stuff is happening and stuff is going on that is far beyond what I can personally keep track of.
I feel like people are complaining now about the timing of things, or things taking so long, but in a while there's going to be stuff hitting so rapidly. It's
yes, absolutely yes.
They're going to start complaining about their favorite game. How come you haven't said anything about this game?
Yes.
Why do you keep putting stuff out about Gala, whatever? You know, you're trying to distract away from my favorite game.
Right. Exactly. And that's we're starting to see it already. And it's that part is going to get I didn't know you could use a flamethrower through walls. Sorry, I'm watching your stream here at the same time.
This screen, the Vault of Values, it's called. This is my best map, and I said it's the best map for flamethrowers, because you can get in the middle. You can avoid, if you notice, they're circular. So there's no straight angle. There's no straight angles coming at you, and so you, as a flamethrower, you can sit in the middle or just weave through that. Nobody can ever get you. So, and that's what I killed Timbo's.
Disastrous. Okay. Anyway, sorry. Yes, but we're already starting to see that. I mean, people are like, oh, why are you guys doing this and that and the other thing? Why are you doing so much stuff? And it's
well, yeah, that's the other thing. It's, you're not doing enough now. You're doing too much. What the fuck, you know? And that's why I asked about scaling and are you guys solvent and stuff like that. It's like, well, that's where it ends up. And I really think, and I've been really pushing back on people because people do have valid grievances against Gala moving too fast. But I'm pushing back, saying, do you run $1 billion company? Are you prepared to handle all this stuff? No, they do.
No, it's really, really, really easy to be a member of the peanut gallery. Okay, to kind of sit there and say, okay, well, you could have done this, you should have done that, all of these.
And you're
things.
Ugly too.
Well, I get called ugly all the time. It's just nature of the beast, I guess. But yeah, it's really interesting to me, because it's like we're doing so freaking much, and yeah, we don't do things perfectly sometimes, and there's always freaking room for improvement, always. But at the same time, like, I think we're doing a pretty good job about getting things out there to people, and what we're actually probably worse at than anything is telling people what is out there and what's happening,
right?
And that's just a sheer bandwidth issue. So yeah, it's definitely something we have to work on.
Let's go get further along SpiderTanks. Because these get progressively harder.
Good.
We actually taled about the our earnings system.
Hold on, wait a minit.
What?
These get progressively harder. You started out with, is your company solvent, and it's going to get progressively harder? Nice.
Hey, that was the side, because you were talking about something related. That just came up, and I said I wanted to get back to it later, but you kept talking. I couldn't stop. I couldn't help myself, and I even said I'd get to it later. Okay. All right. Don't take me to task here. All right. So the burn and mint system. We did talk about the economy with Chair Bandit last night, and he was really good at filling in a lot of holes. Titan asked some Bitbender questions, and so hopefully we can get into that.
Okay.
So
we will.
So SpiderTanks, the earnings system seems a bit wonky. I mean, it's like 99% of the players get like 1.0. What's that? 0.1 VP. How many VP did I get for this? Oh, I lost this one. No, I didn't. Oh yeah, that's the exhibition game with Titan. You get so little when you're a common, and you get so little when you're an epic. And I got a fucking legendary tank, and I'm getting peanuts. I get like now I've leveled it up to like 27 flamethrower and 25 muzzle, and I get like 200 Gala victory points. Now you go up to, I don't know, a level 30, they get 15K. It's like, what the
Depends.
fuck?
Yeah,
and
it
it just
depends.
seems wildly, just crazily different.
So here's the thing. And this is a super important thing to remember here, is that this is in fact all based on math. Okay, and it's based on pretty rigorously defined.
But I want to know the
curves.
math.
Well, I'm going to work
Okay.
on getting you some of that.
Okay.
One of the things that they're working on in the game right now is it's not coming out in this next build. I think it's probably going to be the build after that. But it's basically like a little score sheet that shows up next to each tank in the winners. Okay, that explains why they got what they got. Okay, so for example, let's say you are on your 25th game of the day, okay, with a particular set of hardware, right? Body and weapon. And you win. Now, at the 25th game of the day, your potential to gain victory points is very, very, very much diminished. Okay, and if you go into a match, and I love seeing these pictures posted because it's both a validation that the math actually works, and super frustrating because I know how it looks to people. You go up against Benefactor, for example, in his level 30 all perfects tank.
And it's his first game of the day.
Okay. And it's his first game. And it's his first game, and it's at a specific elo, and it's all perfects, and all of these things factor into the specific calculation for how many victory points someone gets, right? And so obviously he sweeps the floor, and everyone looks at it and goes, oh my god, that's so unfair, that's so terrible, how could they do this? Unbalanced, bad, evil, wrong, right? And so when you see something like that, I understand why people ask questions. I understand why they don't get it. But what they also don't understand for the most part is that if you're going in there with your lower level tank, okay, and let's say you have an unupgraded level 0 common, okay, and you're rocking an unupgraded level 0 common tank or body and weapon, right? And you go in there, yeah, you're not going to get much of anything. But if you upgrade your tank, it starts to get better. And it starts to get better pretty fast. Okay, now it is a pretty steep slope towards the end, but then the cost of getting those last few perfect upgrades are insane. Like I did a stream on my Twitch about a week and a half ago. I should have highlighted it or reeled it or whatever the hell it is that you call it that makes it stay, but I didn't. So I'll probably have to go reshoot the damn thing. But basically what I did is I went through what it takes to get all perfect upgrades, and starting at level 0, I upgraded from level 0 to level 7 or something like that to see the difference. And it was a really significant difference. And because they were all perfect upgrades, it took a long time and a bunch of extra rolls of that at that level, I think always required D's bolts, a whole bunch of D's bolts.
A bunch of extra rolls, a shit ton of extra rolls.
ton of extra rolls. Okay. But that's the thing, is that, your upgrade quality, okay, and do not quote me on this number, as this number may change. Okay. But your upgrade quality for that level, if you go with a decent upgrade, which is the lowest upgrade that you can get, I think, okay, it's basically it's not a multiplier or at all. Whereas a perfect takes whatever your score is and doubles it. Okay, and there's a curve between those two. Okay, so having all perfects, it's like that thing. It's like, do you want me to give you $1,000 right now, or do you want to double a penny for 30 days? You know,
would you like 1 quarter, or would you like 3 shiny nickels? No, sorry, I was making fun there.
But you get my point, right? Like
Yeah.
it's one of those things where it's like math is a bitch, man. When you get to the point where you have those high multipliers, high perfect scores on a fully ramped up tank, like that makes a huge difference. And getting there, okay, at least getting to the point where if you're going from 0.006 victory points to the point where you're bringing in a few hundred, that's not that huge of an upgrade.
Well, the very fact that SpiderTanks is it has the profile where it shows you all those statistics. I love going the statistics direction. I would certainly like to know, if I'm playing a tank, if they stand to earn a lot in this game, because frankly, it would motivate me to kick their fucking asses in this game and show them up. Be like, no, I'm not. You're going to be denied, kind of thing.
Denied.
So you know what you're up against, and a lot of times you're playing these teams that just grind away, and you see them making all this stuff. It's very demoralizing, because you're like, man, they're getting like 15K every single time. Of course, that might not be the case, but that's what I see. But if you know that they've been playing like half the day, it's like, actually, they're not going to make a lot from this. But it just gives some feedback that, wow, there's so many questions about feedback and on this game that I wanted to get. But I think feedback would go a long way to making people feel better.
And this is something that we want to do. I mean, there's only so many things that we can do at any given time. So many updates we can make, so much more information we can push. And right now, and this is one of the reasons why we watch things very closely. We have a stand up every day to review statistics. We, go over what people are, how many victory points they're getting, who's getting the victory points, how are they getting the victory points.
Yeah, I want to see those too.
Eventually. And this is one of the things, actually. Oh man, I think it was supposed to go live this week. I guess it didn't. I'll follow up on that. But like a lot of the shit you can actually see on the Block Explorer. It's pretty cool.
About that.
That's coming. That's coming. It's a thing. It's a thing.
I was going to ask about that Block Explorer, but I keep getting denied on that one too.
It's not a denied thing. I think it's probably something that somebody DM'd me to approve, and I just haven't had time to read my freaking DMs in Slack yet.
Oh, so you're not devious and conniving against us?
I'm not devious and conniving against you. No, I am insanely busy and buried, and the last 2 weeks have been utter hell.
But yeah, the blockchain, just being able to see the blockchain, I think would shut a lot of people up, and of course, it's going to make everyone a lot more noisy. Yeah, because they're going to be like, "Wait a minute," and then on everything.
Yeah. And it's a whole thing, but I mean, that's the thing, is that that we do what we can, we release things as we can, and we double check this stuff and make sure that it's as solid as possible, and make sure that there's no like crazy tuning that has to happen before we push it out. But that's something that we're working on, and so if you're upset about the state of something right now, give it a minute and it may change.
So are you seeing a lot of changes coming to SpiderTanks over the next year, perhaps? Do you think it'll be unrecognizable even?
Unrecognizable? No, it's always going to be SpiderTanks, but specifically in terms of there's a phrase, and I always hear it kind of in like this. I had a friend who was very Southern, and she always used to say, well, if you want to hear God laugh, tell him your plans. And if there in the software development world, there's a similar concept where basically you design something for users, and you think, oh, I just realized that the defeat thing is an upside down spider. Holy shit.
I start winning eventually after Titan.
I just noticed the logo is like an upside down spider with its little legs in the air.
I realized that one a bit late.
That's amazing. I literally just noticed that. Okay, sorry. My apologies. I did not mean to go sideways. I just saw that.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Squirrel.
No, but that's the thing is that users, you have all of these plans and you've done all sorts of user studies and you've collected data and you're like, great, here is a teapot and the user is going to use the teapot by picking it up by its handle and pouring it into the teacup. And what the user does is take the top off the teapot, put their face over the top of it, make it seal, and blow tea out the spout with air pressure. And it's like, okay, well, I never in a million years expected you to do that. Okay, well, shit. I guess we're going to have to rethink some of this. And, that's the sort of stuff that we run into. I mean, and especially if you have anything where there's like an earning component, because, every person working on the SpiderTanks team and economy and all of that. I mean, you probably have somewhere in the neighborhood of like 50 people, right? Working on various parts of this.
SpiderTanks? Really?
I mean, there's some shared resources and things like that here. And like, I work on all sorts of different things and,
okay, so you're talking about build servers, QA testers, project managers,
all of the people that are involved in the whole thing, right? Actually, it's probably more than that. But anyway, the point is that even when you have all of these people, okay, they will never come up with the devious shit that people who are trying to extract value from the ecosystem will come up with.
Well, then maybe you need to hire some as QA testers.
we kind of do, but it's interesting because it's like what we see people and can I step back for just a second?
Sure.
This is one of the reasons why the economy is as tight as it is and why we have things like the concept of honor, which I haven't released the paper yet on.
Because people are trying to hack the algo.
People are trying to hack the algo, of course. And the idea here is that what we do is we protect the entire ecosystem by making it as tight as possible, see what people do with it, see what holes they find that we may not have found. Okay. And then we can loosen things up a little bit.
So the way the economy is right now, it sounds like you're saying it's not permanent, but
sure, no, of course not. There's always going to be, yeah, of course, always. There's always going to be feedback, and I don't want to,
well, every time you introduce a feature, I'm going to say a new tank, or once you start filling out those maps the way that they're going to do, it's going to unbalance the whole thing, and you're going to be like, and I'm saying this for other people because I've been a developer for so long. If they put in, just say, a new tank, and it turns out that, oh my God, because this new tank is here, it owns, I don't know, bramblers. Bramblers are a pain in the ass right now and really pissing me off. But okay, say a new tank comes out and it owns bramblers. Well, now you've unbalanced your tanks and you've got to fix that. And everybody's going to start buying that thing because it can own bramblers. But the problem is people start buying it. And this is why people are having a problem. If you're tweaking while people are buying, then they'll be saying things like, look, fucker, I bought it because it owns bramblers, and now you made it to where it's just the same, and that's not fair.
But the reality is that that's how games work, man. They have to evolve and they have to grow.
Well, they wouldn't be fun if you could cheat the game,
right? Or if things stayed the exact same all the time. I mean, this is one of the things that's super important about this, and if you go to absolutely any video game subreddit, you will always see, there'll be a patch
bitching about balance problems. This patch fucked up the balance.
Well, but here's the thing: is that it hasn't necessarily fucked up the balance. It just fucked up the balance for you.
Well, yes, I worked 2.5 weeks to get this. If you nerf this flamethrower, I'm going to kick your ass. I'm going to say bad things about you.
But I mean, but that's the thing is that like I don't nerf anything. I suck enough at the game. I don't even know what the hell the balance is. Like I'm terrible at the game. You know that. But the thing is the developers look at all the data and then they rebalance stuff. And sometimes maybe they go too far and then they rebalance things the other direction. And sometimes they go too far that way, or a new thing gets introduced and it changes the game. And the game is supposed to grow and evolve over time. You're not playing anything that's in a static state, nor would you want to.
Well,
Like
that's what I think it's hard to get across, because a lot of people are seeing this from a purely, a lot of people see it from a purely profit driven perspective. How much, and this is going to be a problem with any play to earn game. How much silk can I get a day? Hey, I was expecting to get this. Now I'm not getting it anymore. What the fuck? I'm putting all this money. But I don't know if you hear that with other games. Do you hear this with like John Madden football or something like that?
Oh, with John Madden football? No, not at all.
And so that's play to earn. I think it's going to be a continual question no matter what you do.
It is absolutely. But the thing is there's no way to make it not a question. There's also no way to do things exactly the way that people want. You know, I mean, along with that Southern saying I mentioned earlier, you know, the only way to fail for sure is to try to make absolutely everybody happy. You know, there's always going to be someone who's pissed off about balancing. Always. And, you know, there's nothing you can do about it. The only thing that you can do is try to make it as you know, awesome as you can. And please keep in mind that, you know, for us, we look at this from the perspective of how do we make amazing games? That is our primary focus. Now, granted, I'm totally aware that there are people who look at this from other perspectives, but we can't build games from those perspectives. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, that's I was looking. You ruined the setup for my next question, so I was
sorry.
No, that's okay. You're making a good strong point with you. You got to keep the game fun, and you got to make it to where again, I like to say balance. Balance is hard, and in any given month, on any given month, somebody is coming into the game for the exact same reason that somebody else is leaving the game, and I personally think that you could just come up with 50 bazillion game modes in SpiderTank, and that way that would make a lot more people happy. Make a 1v1 mode, make a 10v10 mode, make a you know, Brambler's a badass mode, and you know, flamethrowers only mode. And well, what I was expecting honestly when we got the maps, and this was not telegraphed by you guys, but I was thinking when I got a map that I'd be able to set up the server however I wanted, set up the game however I wanted, and then people would want to come to the Faz server because I have games that are set up in ways that other people cannot or have not.
And you're touching on something that's super important here. Okay. And this is, oh man, I really need to get Chris Shooter to show how the node interface works with like the last expedition node and things like that. You know, at the end of the day, that's what we want too. Okay. I want you to be able to take your map, to be able to decorate your map the way that you want to be able to choose which factories you allow to put on your map, whether they're your own. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, do you remember like back in the days when you would play like the
Halo,
the early version? What was that?
I just said Halo, but go ahead.
Oh no! I was like even like I remember the first version of like Counter-Strike or something like that, or Team Fortress. Was it Team Fortress? No, that's not right.
Anyway, I know what you're talking about. There's
some game. It was like a first-person shooter where you know you would do things like you'd have like the all rocket launchers game.
Oh, I think you're thinking Quake or Doom.
Yeah, it's like one of the Quake. It was Quake or Doom or some other thing like that. But basically it's like, you know, you would have the all rocket launchers thing, or you'd have the low gravity, or you'd have the big head mod.
And that's exactly what I was thinking with these maps.
We want to see that too, man. Like this isn't the problem is that before you get to that point, you have to have the fully stable game exactly the way that it's supposed to be. Kind of like you know, when we were talking this morning on the Townstar AMA, you know, the concept of pushing things out as builds for mobile, right? Before you push something to Apple, okay, you need to have it stable. It needs to be done because, you know, with you know, SpiderTanks right now, we can update things very, very easily. But if we had it as an app in the App Store, we can no longer do like 4 updates a day if we wanted to. Do you see what I'm saying? So we have to have the rest of the game set up and stable before we get to the point where we're, pushing things out, making the maps, all of that. Do the things that we want to see them do in the long run. But like, I want you to be able to decorate your map. I want you to be able to put shit in your map. I want you to be able to decide who plays in your map. And I want that to run across your nodes. I want your node to be able to be the thing that hosts all of that.
And I want to earn on that too.
Well, okay. I mean, there's a lot of different ways that this can be set up, but like, okay, well, if you have your own node and you charge admission to your node and you have your own prize pool, like, I don't see a reason why something like that couldn't be done.
Okay, that sounds like you guys have actually thought about that. If you came back that quickly with an answer.
Dude, of course we've thought about it. Like, this is the thing. Everybody's like, well, why didn't you do this? Your maps suck. I bought this map for this much and it sucks. Fuck you guys. Like, this, dude, do you know how many times I get that? It's ridiculous. The DMs that I get are insane. Okay, but the reality is yes, of course we've thought about this stuff. Of course we've thought about it. What we're not doing and what we can't do, okay, is the ability to come in and say, this is exactly what's going to happen at this point in time right here. Because it may change. We may discover something that has to happen. We may have to introduce a change because of, any number of reasons, okay, before we get to that point. So what we have to do is get up to the point where we're like, okay, this is stable. Then we build the thing, and then we explain how it works to people, and then they're able to implement it. And then they give us feedback. We take that feedback, and we go from there. Hold on, I've taken my glasses up, but I'm seeing the chat move. What's going on here?
Well, first we'll give Titan a segue to come in here, because I've been totally just ruling the roost here, and I can hear
every time I turn off my mute, you guys would start talking again. I'm like, holy shit!
I was interested, and you got me excited. And
no, that's all fine and good.
I had to defend my honor.
This is an awesome conversation. Don't get me wrong, but so Bitbender, for context, right? So Faz, being Mr. Organized, he has this program called Workflowy. Okay. And we use that to post like questions we want to ask and all this. And there's like literally like 45 questions. We got to question 3 so far.
Okay. We're gonna have to let me get more to drink before we I think we'll take a bio break at number 6.
Too many segues here, man.
Yeah, so you said something that gives You gave a great segue with the stability part of that. I think that's absolutely vital. So one of the questions I kind of threw out at Chair Bandit last night that he immediately deflected to you was something that I've seen this a lot, both on CFA and on Gala, which is the bridging, right?
Yep.
So we have the one-way bridge right now, and there's quite a bit of talk around these security concerns with that. People are saying, geez, I put like, $10,000 worth of spider tanks on here. I don't have my keys. I can't get them off. What's going on with this? There's not even an audit on this chain yet. And here we are dumping all these assets on here. I'm really nervous.
Sure.
How would you calm their fears?
There are audits. We just haven't released the audits yet because of the whole, all of this shit has to kind of be bundled together. Otherwise, it's this weird piecemeal thing, which it kind of is right now because of the way that we've had to release the information, which I dislike rather intensely. But we have a little bit of a chicken and egg thing because it's like, okay, well, we need to get the game out so the game can run so people can play the game. In order for that to work, we have to have the chain, do all of the chain
and
things.
You can start earning on that game. I mean, because you guys do make games for a living, you need to earn money.
Yes. That's very much a thing.
I was going to throw this in at a certain point just to seem like an asshole, but is it bad to make money?
Are you asking this as a philosophical question, or is it
well,
is it bad to print it at home on your printer and then try to pass it off? That would be bad.
I've heard a lot of people complain about the fact that Gala just wants to make a lot of money, and my answer has always been no shit. And it's like,
And
well, you're just a Gala apologist, and I'm like, no, if I'm running a business, I want to make fucking money, dude.
Okay, so let me we just ruined Titan's whole
I just
question.
hijacked that. I'm sorry.
We
Go
just
back.
hijacked it.
Go back.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
I want to come back to this though, because this is an
Okay.
important thing. But I want to deal with Titan's question. Yes, chain, one-way bridging. The two-way bridging thing is coming out here shortly. I do know the date, but because I have no shit, probably 150 messages in Slack that I haven't read yet, somebody may have sent me something saying that has changed. I don't want to say that. But that's definitely something that is coming very quickly, and if all goes well, will be out by the end of the month. There was one delay, and this is one of those interesting things where you have, and anyone who's done software development knows this, where you write a scope for the document or for whatever the thing is, and then the engineers go and they build exactly that thing. But because engineers are notoriously bad at reading minds, they leave out one component or one little bit of it that you didn't put in the scope, but you probably should have, but also seems super obvious. Do you know what I mean? So there was one piece involving the way that metadata got written on the other side that we hadn't included and engineers had not therefore built. And so now it's like, oh crap. Okay, well, we need to go fix that part because we have to make sure all this stuff gets written in the metadata so that you can see, details of all of the different levels of tanks and, whatnot when it gets bridged out, not just based on rarity, because, a specific tank number 227 will have specific data.
Well, because people hit you if you don't have the accounting on there. They'll be like, well, why would you put this out without telling us this?
Exactly. So that's one of those things. It's like, okay, well, back up. We need to fix a little thing here. So yeah, that's part of that is being reworked in terms of the way the metadata gets written. But yeah, we should be good, and hopefully that will be out by the end of the month.
Very cool. So are these going to be
because I, by the way, guys, I hate having there only be a one-way bridge. Like we push
what
really
it wasn't
hard.
It wasn't planned. It wasn't planned. It wasn't.
No. We were not sitting here around a gigantic mahogany table with chairs with gratuitously high backs and those weird wings going like this. Of course, let's make the bridge one way. No, that was not the plan. It was a tech delay. Due to tech delays. So yeah,
and that's again, there's fighting the army, fighting the war with the army you have and the one that you would like. And I think at a certain point, you guys decided to put out the game when certain things weren't done, and that's just life. I mean, otherwise,
you have to. I mean, that's the thing is that, and one of the criticisms that we get very, very frequently is that people are like, okay, well, why did you simultaneously, by the way, from the same people sometimes we get, why is this taking so long? And then in the next breath, why did you rush this thing?
Work on one thing at a time, guys. Why do you have to be invested in so many companies?
Well, but that's the thing is that we have so much going on, and each of these things has their own team, right? And so yeah, sometimes things go quicker than we want. Sometimes we do push things, and then sometimes things also take for frickin' ever. So you can't win them all.
So Titan, you wanted to talk about the honor system?
Well, yeah, I wanted to jump into that, but one of the big important things was the keys. Is it going to be the same keys that we used on ETH? Is there going to be new keys issued, private keys?
Okay, so
that's a good point.
Give me a little bit of flex on this, because part of it depends on where your wallet came from. So
it's whether you made the wallet or whether you imported it matters.
Well, so yeah, part of this is that at the same time as, I believe it's at the same time as bridging. Might be a little bit late. See, there's so many things, guys. Basically, the Web3 wallet integration that allows you to connect a wallet is also coming. But the thing is if you connect a wallet, then your wallet on GYRI, obviously, I mean, we don't have the private keys for the wallet you connected, and everything is it wasn't created right through the flow. So, it's going to be different. So I think that if you're connecting a wallet, you will have to generate a new wallet. And in that case, it will be something that you obviously you can get the keys in any case, but it would be a different address.
Okay, so what you're saying then is it wouldn't be like your Gala account. You would just go into for example, you would go into MetaMask and say, connect this wallet to GYRI. And that wallet connects to GYRI, and you have your Gala wallet and whatever other wallets you have in there, but it would be a specific one that you would create just for that.
Initially, GYRI will not connect with MetaMask, but you will connect your MetaMask to the Gala platform, and then you will create the GYRI wallet on Gala. But if you, and this is in the long term, I do want it to go through MetaMask. So parts of this are still being worked on, and I don't want to open my mouth because I have not been super deeply involved with the Web3 wallet team on this.
Well, okay, let's go with the intention behind it.
The intention is I hate our current wallet creation flow. Okay, I hate it with the fury.
Is the intention for us to be able to have a GYRI wallet on our own that might have been created by us outside of you completely?
Yes, of course.
I'm assuming GYRI is almost going to be like another blockchain, like, I don't know.
Yes,
entirely.
It's an L1. That's of course. That is what we want. I don't want to have anything to do with your wallet or your creation of your wallet in the long term. I want you to be able to go create your wallet however you want to create it, and then connect that to the account. Disconnect it from the account if you decide you don't want to have it on there, and then connect another one if you want. That's what we want.
Now that concept was promised a long time ago. I remember 2020 when I first got into it. That was literally one of the first questions I had, and you guys were like, soon. But I have a feeling that
the problem is
I have a feeling that there's some logistics there that we're not aware of. I'm trying to.
It is massively a logistics issue.
One.
It's a logistics issue, but then it's also it's an issue of the fact. What's a good way to put this? What Gala is doing is weaving a tapestry across all of entertainment. And in any tapestry, you have the warp and the weft. Okay, these are your, for lack of a better word, your vertical strings and your horizontal strings, and they must weave together and interlink. And you cannot have one without the other, because then you'll just have a pile of string. You need both. And with a lot of what we're doing, we have many different things that are running in parallel. And in order for them to work correctly, you have other things that have to run across them and connect them to make them work correctly.
Those are called cross-cutting concerns, boys and girls.
Yes, there are significant cross-cutting concerns across various games, across various platforms.
So that brings up a good point, because that gets a little bit back to the first thing, that the FTX kind of issue. Fine, if there's cross-cutting concerns between SpiderTanks and Echoes of Empires and whatever, and one of these games goes and does a fuzzle, what's going to happen to the other games? I mean, is it going to be like, well, we were kind of using the same build servers, now we can't do that anymore, so we got to...
No. The games themselves are fully isolated. So, whatever happens with SpiderTanks doesn't have anything to do with Last Expedition.
In fact, that's why they're isolated, is to protection. For that was one of the first things I thought was something like that. So if something like the Fuzzles went down, it didn't pollute other games.
Correct. And to be clear, initially when we were first looking at the various economic models and things like that, we were looking at a model where each game had its own coin specifically to prevent this kind of contagion, if you will. However, as thinking has evolved, okay, and as these economic models have gotten more refined and whatnot, we're now realizing it doesn't necessarily need to be that way, provided we have games that are essentially circular in their economics. So if you have a game that is like Townstar version 1, okay, where you have sort of like a runaway supply problem, obviously you can't tie that to Gala. Okay, like we couldn't use Gala for that because it would create a supply problem for Gala, right? But if we're having a circular economy, we could, for example, say that Superior could be a play and earn style game where the what is being earned in that game is based on what is being put into that game by the community as a whole, or through sales, or things like that, similar to what SpiderTanks is right now. But we could do that with Gala if we wanted to. It doesn't have to be another token. So as we go forward, as all of this becomes more evolved, we have different models that can come into play.
It sounds like the coin for each game is almost a simplified model, because now I'm hearing you talk about, well, we could probably have Gala rewards in game as well as that game's coin, or use Gala or whatever. It sounds like almost like you might actually know what you're talking about now.
We're getting perilously close to being well informed.
You're starting to learn from. It seems to me that Townstar was the first try, and it's being revamped, and you guys said
absolutely.
And SpiderTanks is another try, and I could see you being very safe with what you're doing right now. You're like, let's introduce one thing at a time, guys.
One thing. But no. The community would like all of it all at once, and it all has to be perfect right now and never change ever.
Well, if it isn't all at once, then it's an evil plan that you meant to do it out this way so that you can benefit the most. Clearly.
The interesting thing, I actually spent from 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. this morning doing the final pass through the Townstar light paper. And in there is a whole chunk about how the initial town economy was not what we wanted it to be, and there have been significant learnings from that. And so definitely we learn. So that's part of it.
Titan?
Yeah, so we have a lot to get to. We've been running pretty long here already. Holy cow, a little over an hour. Another big part of the question comes in with this proposed honor system.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of questions about that, and I have a few here that are not easy ones. So is the community going to have a voice in how that is shaped out, or is that going to be something that just kind of plops out and that's the way it is?
Plops out. That's really terrible. That sounds particularly awful.
The cookie metaphor. See, it's taken to its extreme.
Plopping out some honor system. Okay, so how do I put this? You guys always have a say in things. Now, whether or not you feel that is sometimes a separate issue. But we do listen a lot. We talk to you guys a lot. We spend a tremendous amount of time hanging out and figuring out exactly what it is that what you guys feel about stuff, and like, even as we're having this conversation, I know you told me not to look at the chat. I am watching various chats.
Let's stay on target.
Okay.
Well, no, that's fine. I just want to make sure we stay on SpiderTanks. That's all. Because there's other drama that accompanies all this stuff.
It's fun, but the thing is we absolutely do listen. We absolutely do pay attention. And so, it's something that we want to, as we release this, people will definitely, I think, they will definitely feed into this, and we will be watching it and seeing what people think and feel about it. And then going from there, deciding, how to modify.
Well, maybe it seems like, it seemed to, what I've heard is, it seems like in the beginning, back when the founders nodes were new, it seemed to feel like, boy, we'd have a heavy hand in a lot of this stuff, but it has, since then, it has kind of become more like a suggestion, maybe. Like every few months, let's throw out a vote for those founders node owners, or I'm sure there's one for the town owners eventually, Spider Tank owners. But I think people have been feeling like maybe they have more of a say. And I guess, what's the vision? What was the intent there? How deeply were you guys thinking?
The founders nodes?
Well, I'll just say, for node votes in general, what was the intent for how involved the community would get with these decisions? I think that hits at the root of the problem.
Okay. We've never, ever, ever wanted founders nodes to be informing game development decisions. Okay. Because going back to our whole conversation about tuning and things like that, it just doesn't work. Okay. You might have a situation where a whole bunch of node owners decide that they love Bramblers, and they think Bramblers are the absolute best thing ever, and they would like the Bramblers to be buffed. In fact, they'd like all of the weapons to be replaced with Bramblers because they think they're super cool. And if they were able to put together enough votes on that, and if that was in some way, shape, or form, binding to the, development cycle of the game, that would obviously create a problem. That's not what these are for. What these are for in the long run is in influencing the types of things that happen within the ecosystem in the macro aspect. Okay, so, if you are, if we're looking at bringing on a new development studio, okay, if pick a company wants to come build on GYRI and wants to use the founders nodes, okay, what should they be able to do that? Is that a thing that they want to? Is that a thing that they want to, or that the founders nodes themselves would like to see? Or do you feel that this particular, publisher, whoever that publisher is probably not somebody that you'd like to have on the platform? That's the types of decisions that we saw them getting involved in. And that's the types of decisions that they are involved in. Now, originally, and this is I was the one who was responsible for some of that early messaging. And part of that was the fact that I don't have a background in like AAA game development. I come more from the blockchain side of things. And so from a blockchain perspective, you look at this and you're like, yeah, people should be able to vote on all sorts of things. But then pragmatically, from the business development side of things, it's like, okay, well, we've got this game. that we want to put out, we are up to our ears in NDAs, and it's with a major IP holder. Okay, so for example, just to give you a little bit of perspective, like you have something like AMC or Battlestar Galactica, AMC for The Walking Dead, obviously. Anything that is put out has to be cleared by their property department. How can we as a company put tons of money into something when we don't know whether or not the node operators are going to like this thing? And so it creates this really, really weird position where it's like, okay, we need people to vote on something. And this is what we saw at the first Galaverse. It's like, there's 3 things. They're super cool. Do you want to see them or not? Right? And it creates this very, very difficult situation that we have to, somehow navigate. And so I think that, well, philosophically, I love the idea of everyone voting on all sorts of things. Pragmatically, it just simply doesn't work, specifically when you combine it with the semi-Web 2 business that we do have to operate within.
Awesome.
Does that make sense? Do you guys get that?
It does.
I'm getting that. Go ahead.
So the most important question that I had for this whole cast that I put into our notes here is something I've had several conversations with people about, and wanted to get your feedback specifically on this because it's directly aimed at Gala.
Yep.
So with the honor system, you would be asking the community to have the green light, yellow light, red light kind of thing for when we pull whatever out of the system, whether we want to sell our tank or pull silk out. And it was originally presented as, okay, well, if the timing's not great, there's going to be some kind of nerf somewhere, yada, yada, yada. And that's going to be like a public facing piece. So is Gala open to putting a Gala honor system in to where they have a public facing red light, yellow light, green light if they're selling silk token or if they're moving assets around on the platform?
I think that there is a pretty radical misunderstanding of what the honor system does here. And perhaps there was a conversation at one point in time that had a lot to do with this light concept. But functionally speaking, that's not really basically all that the honor system is designed to do, okay, is to make sure that if you as a user, okay, are behaving in a way that harms the rest of the community, then your capacity to do so is diminished. Oh man, some of these. I'm watching your stream again. Was that a shotgun that went that far? That seemed insane. Anyway, so basically, I'm actually going to close my eyes and finish this thought here. It's just too exciting to watch. I freaking love watching this game. Oh no, I went and clicked over on Twitter. Bad choice. That was not what I wanted to do. Okay, so the idea behind the honor system, okay, is that if you are a player who is damaging the ecosystem as a whole, okay, and please keep in mind, like, company stuff aside, okay, my goal personally in this, okay, and this is something that I spoke about during my TEDx talk, this is something I've spoken about in a lot of different ways, is to find ways to make it possible for those who need something the most to be able to gain something through play. Okay, that's my personal goal. Okay, to be this positive influence that allows somebody to come in, somebody who, you know, is maybe otherwise having a hard time feeding their kids, okay, and ultimately get to a point where they can pull a little bit of something out that allows them to do that, while creating a situation that is net positive for the entire ecosystem. You play, you're contributing, you know, this is good for everybody, right? Now, the problem arises when you have people who aren't necessarily contributing to the ecosystem through play, okay, in a positive way, and are extracting far more sorry, another messaging pop-up. Telegram. Damn, so many.
Do I need to pause my SpiderTanks video?
No. I'm on another screen now. I'm not even seeing that.
Okay.
But no, now it's a Telegram message dinging and popping up. But basically making it so that if you have somebody who's you know, every single day, okay, you know, going and taking a bunch of value out of the ecosystem and just extracting ruthlessly, that their ability to do that over time is diminished. Okay.
That's a hard balance.
It's a massively difficult balance. And I'm positive we got it wrong at this. Like I am positive that this initial incarnation of it, people are going to get pissed off and there's going to be pushback. I'm sure that that's going to happen. They're pushing back against the basic idea.
Here's what people are going to do. They're obviously going to equate it to the silk price. And they're going to say, well, you know, it's going to tank the coin or whatever. And I realize that's not a concern of yours. It's actually not much of a concern of mine because shit will balance out people. But the whole point is, from your point of view, I'm kind of wondering what's being extracted and removed. Or is the silk, when it stays in the game, is it worth more to other people when it's in the game?
Well, actually, yes. This is the thing.
You're no longer echoing. I just noticed.
If you earn silk in the game, and then you turn around and you put that silk back into the game, it makes the ecosystem more healthy for everybody.
How does it make it healthy for everybody? Or just because the tanks are built up more? There's more gameplay?
No, the tanks are built up more, but in a very real sense, okay, because the amount that gets the amount that essentially people can earn on any given day is in part based upon the amount that is spent within the game, okay, in that day or within an interval. There's actually
that I did not know. Okay.
Yeah. So basically, if you have somebody that comes in and if hypothetically speaking, and this is the way that the new Townstar model works as well, if you have you know, $1,000 worth of spend in any given day, okay, $1,000 minus X is what goes back into the pool for the users. Okay. And depending on, there's a bunch of different variables here, but it's essentially, you know, whatever comes in, less than that is what goes out for the most part. Now, there's the ability to tune this based on, you know, specific things like, you know, if we're doing like user acquisition and we want to bring more people into the game or something like that, we might have like a double points weekend or, you know, something like that along those lines, right? But by and large, that's kind of the way that it works. And so if you earn silk in the game and you're playing the game because you're having fun, like I love playing SpiderTanks. Okay, I am under no delusions whatsoever that SpiderTanks is going to you know, be an income replacement for me. Okay, it's just not. I play it because it's fun, right? If I'm playing the game because it's fun and I'm earning silk, like normal points in sort of like a Web 2 sense, okay, and I'm turning around and I'm putting that silk back into my tanks, okay, that increases the ability for other people to be able to get something out of it. Okay. Now, I don't depend on my ability to earn silk, okay, to eat. It is not a thing that is important to me in that regard. Does that make sense? But I recognize that it may be for somebody. Okay. Now, because I'm just doing this because it's fun for me, okay, that's my main value that I get from the game. This is a fun game and I enjoy playing it. And so for me, putting silk back in makes things better for everybody, okay, and doesn't really hurt me because, again, my main focus here is playing an awesomely fun game. Okay, it's not like a 3v3 fish battler where you wouldn't play this game unless you were getting paid. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I feel like
massive question mark there.
Well, okay, so you've got to admit that a lot of people are drawn to this game because when you say this tank is yours, this silk is yours, you can do what you want with it, and then rightfully so, I think that you guys should do the best you can to keep the money in the game, but the silk in the game. But it seems like you're saying we're going to make you keep the silk in the game instead of we want to convince you.
So here's the thing. The way that it works is this, is that if you play the game for a certain period of time, okay, your honor score goes up. Okay. There are things that make your honor score go up. And then there are things that make your honor score go down. Okay. Primarily speaking, if you are withdrawing value from the ecosystem, your honor score is reduced. Okay. Now, the exact metrics of this will be in a paper that I thought was going to release this week, but I think is being pushed until it'll be released about the same time as all of the news about the bridge and whatnot. So anyway, basically, if you do good things that help the entire ecosystem, great, honor score up. If you do things that hurt the ecosystem, honor score down. And the idea is that you get to a point where your honor score is high enough that it's easy for you to remove a certain amount over time. Okay. You know, whatever, a certain value, certain percentage, for example, of whatever your victory points are, converting over to silk and taking out over time without really impacting your honor score much at all. Okay, that's
so will that apply to Gala though too, or just the community?
What do you mean? Apply to Gala?
So you
okay? Wait! Hold on. This has nothing to do with the value of silk on exchanges. This has nothing. Like
no, that's not what I'm asking.
Yellow light.
I think he meant the company.
Right. So Gala collects, right? So you talked about minus X percentage, which I'm assuming goes to Gala. Right,
not most of it, but okay,
some of it.
Sure.
And Gala obviously is generating tokens for themselves, kind of like the Materium thing, right? So,
okay, I see what you're saying. Okay,
7 tokens for every one generated. So
that's not no. Wait. Let me correct you on that. That's not for us. That's not just the thing where we like sit there with it and go like tee hee hee. There's a whole bunch of stuff that goes for, and it's that is a necessity for working within this space.
Right. But I'm saying, what I'm asking is, if you said if you do well for the ecosystem, your honor score goes up, and if you extract in levels that could impact the economy of the game, your honor score will go down. So will any tokens that Gala holds be subject to an honor system, or is that exempt?
It's not quite. So here's the thing. When
they want you in the game, Mr. Titan, they want you to play the game. That's why they're doing that.
Well,
right,
no,
but
I get his point.
If Gala goes out and sells 100,000 tokens, that's going to impact the ecosystem.
But does it? And it depends on how that's done. So the problem is here, okay, is that what you run into, okay, is you run into single entities with the ability to negatively impact the ecosystem in dramatic ways. That's a problem.
And that would
Well,
be,
but that's what Gala is. Gala would have significant assets to sell.
But it is in our best interest to make sure that doesn't happen. Hence the entire thing.
they're trying to keep you. They're trying to keep yourself in the game, and they want to keep theirs in the game too. Is what he's saying.
Right, and
Yeah.
that has been a big question.
Your question is like what's to keep us from going like, let me go sell all of the tokens. There's absolutely no reason to ever have something like that happen. And if everybody, how do I put this? That's already a thing that we do. Okay, it's the acting in a way that doesn't damage the ecosystem is already the thing that we do, because everything we do in terms of if we were to do liquidations or we were to do anything like that is done in a way. So for example, let's say that you wanted to liquidate token X. Okay. Let's say we have some BAT. Okay, we want to liquidate BAT. Now, if we're going to go liquidate BAT on an exchange, okay, and we were to take the entire wallet of BAT that we have, and we have a decent chunk of that, and market dump it, what would that do to BAT on the exchange? Probably not good things, right?
Well, that's kind of what I'm getting at, and that's the concerns that I'm hearing.
That is the concern you're hearing, but let me tell you how that works. So what happens is, rather than having that happen, what you have is on an exchange having a very, very, very small liquidation that takes place during spikes of volume. So if you, rather than selling a bunch of BAT over the course of 5 minutes, if you sell it over 2 weeks, only when volume spikes on candles over X amount, selling only Y tokens at a time, say $50 worth of tokens on a 1 minute candle. Okay. That already puts very significant constraints on things. Now, the concern here is that people will go and just be like, screw you guys, we're just going to pour all of this into the market. Okay, that is absolutely not in anyone's best interest to do. And the honor system, what that does is that creates a situation where users are incentivized to improve the ecosystem of the entire game by putting value into the game itself. Okay, by upgrading tanks, by spending time playing, by doing all of these things that make the game better for everybody. It's not about token price. It's not about any of that. What it's about is creating a game that has the ability to last and go beyond the very simple and what's the word I'm looking for here? The concern of how much is this game going to pay for me to do this thing? We don't want a game to be a job. We want it to be a game. We want it to be something that you play for fun and enjoy because you think it's awesome.
Oh, okay. So then why introduce a token that one can sell on one's own rather than you could do the same thing without a token, just an in-game database token that
you just have Web 2. You just have Web 2 at that point in time.
Well, okay, so that's what I'm getting at. Why, if you're looking to do that and to keep the value in the game and stuff like that, why would you go through all this trouble with this external token when you could just make a database token and be done with it?
Because that still doesn't reach the goal that we're looking for here. I personally want people to be able to pull value out of the game. But I want a lot of people to be able to pull value out of the game while people put value into the game because they love it and enjoy playing it. Like that's the thing. Like if you have somebody who, you know, again, for me, I buy tanks. Okay. I just bought a tank the other day so that I could, actually bought a few tanks the other day so I could do that video on exactly how the upgrade system works. Okay. I am not going to be doing anything with the silk that I have earned. Okay. It's not I mean, I'll use it to upgrade, but for me, it's not a major concern, if you know what I mean. Okay. But at the same time, if you have somebody who comes in, okay, and they're, you know, coming in, they are from the developing world, you know, $20 makes a huge difference to them, and they play for a few hours and they're able to pull something out of the game, that's a positive for me. And that you can't do with a Web 2 game. You know, I mean, you look, I know so I sort of give Axie a lot of shit sideways. I keep saying things like 3v3 Fish Battler, right? But the reality is that they did actually help a lot of people. And I think that on balance, that's a good thing. You know, I have massive respect for what they have accomplished, and I want to create something that in the long run permits that. Does that make sense?
I think that explanation of how Gala would liquidate is a huge point of contention, because
it is a huge point of contention, but it's
yeah,
also not a thing that we can talk about for the most part.
No, I know,
So-
but see, that's the concern, is, you know, people have been saying, you know, hey, you're telling me I'm not supposed to take value out, but I go to the Gala wallet and I see, you know, 600,000 Gala tokens being sold, but I'm not supposed to go sell mine. You know, what the hell, dude?
So what I would like people to do, if that's a point of concern, okay, if that is a point of concern, go look at Sand and look at Mana and look at Gala and look at what those charts look like. Layer them over one another. Take a screenshot and cut out the names, and then see if you can pick which one is which.
That's an interesting challenge. I think I'm going to take you up on that. But
well, I'm not sure that I'm not sure that all this talk about secondary market and token price is really the best angle for Gala here. I mean, it hasn't worked out the best for Ripple, for example. Ripple is perfectly fine with saying, yeah, we sell things on the market, we buy things from the market. But immediately people run over to, well, then you're treating it as security if you're going to make money on it and whatever. But I think it is worth mentioning that you can make money off of this stuff. That's part of the reason it's there.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I'm not talking token price. I'm not talking dollar value. We talk about economy, and that's such a hard thing because it does put Gala in a predicament because they can't really talk about it. But at the same time, if we're trying to build a healthy economy, that question comes up constantly in both Gala and CFA. It's, you know, they're trying to implement this honor system to restrict whatever it might be. But at the same time, you know, they can just go and, you know, put whatever out on the market whenever they feel like it. What about them? Aren't they accountable for part of that economy? That's why I brought this question up, because that's where a lot of people are frozen, man. They're frozen on that. They're not thinking about the fun. They're not thinking about the game. They're just like, fuck this shit. I can't take money out, but they can.
I want to add something here.
You know,
each coin that you have out there has, in essence, a mini Federal Reserve. The United States Federal Reserve, it basically does things like raises and lowers interest rates because they're trying to make sure that the economy works. And once you introduce a
We are
coin,
not the Fed.
well,
Please
once
keep
you
that in
introduce a
mind.
coin, then you start having to have a Fed, and there is a Fed in every coin. Somebody is working with the economics, and you guys are with the honor system. That is part of the economics. That is a Fed in a way. Now, if you think that because you're using the coin for an economy. If it were just database tokens, you wouldn't care. You'd print up more if you didn't need it, whenever you needed them. But in this case, there's a limited supply for a reason, and then that limited supply has to be managed. And the game is basically managing that supply. It's like, well, you gotta really disincentivize people from taking it out. That's where I think it leads into problems.
It's not disincentivizing them from taking it out. It's incentivizing them for putting it in for additional fun. Again, games are boxes that you put stuff into and you get other stuff out of. Okay, so when you play a game, when you play a Web 2 game, you put time and money into the box and you get out fun. Okay, when you play a Web 3 game, you put time into the box. Maybe you put money into the box, and what you get out on the other side is fun and maybe a little bit of money. Okay, that's the key. That's the key calculation that goes here. So the question is how do we maximize the opportunity for those who, and this is again my question, perhaps, and it may be different it may be a different answer than for everybody else. How do you create a situation where people can maximize the amount of fun that they have by recirculating what is already inside that box back through? That's the question. And if somebody wants to take something out, they certainly can. Okay, this does not in any way, shape, or form stop you from taking anything out.
Well, you'd have to rebuild up your honor.
You do have to rebuild up your honor, but you can take it out. It's your token. Once you have your token, you do whatever you want with your token. It is your token. Okay?
So it's not the other part of that is the honor system for the going up part. Is that tied directly to spending that token, or does it go up just by playing too?
It goes up just by playing, of course.
That's another concern people had, is the pay to win part of it.
No.
Yeah.
If you play the game, okay, if you play the game, your honor goes up. That's it.
I think we've gotten one comment so far in the chat that someone already understands the honor system way better. And I think that was a big point of contention. That's why I hammered on this so hard, is everything is about that perception. And the immediate perception was, oh my God, I'm playing this. I've invested, my time into this. I've played for 12 hours straight, and I got my stuff. And wait a minute, what do you mean I can't take this stuff out without getting spanked?
No, you could totally take your stuff out. The thing is it doesn't impact your ability to take stuff out that you've already earned. All that it says is that if you're going to take it out and you're going to use that in a way that damages other people, okay, damages the ecosystem as a whole, then you're just not going to get it back as fast until you build that honor back up. That's it.
I am really glad we hit this.
I know it feels complex, and God, the paper's so stupidly, irritatingly complex too. But really, that's the core of it. Do good stuff, okay, and you have no problem taking something out. Okay, you're playing the game. You're engaged, you're having fun, you're working with people. Okay, great, no problem. Okay, if you're going to go and hit things super hard, okay, and get to the point where you're damaging what other people are able to do, then it's not going to give it to you as quickly. Okay, all that it does is it changes the ratio of victory points that you earn. Does nothing to stop you from extracting anything. It just changes the ratio of your victory points. Low honor, fewer victory points.
I feel like this concept that we keep running into these kind of situations with crypto, where people keep trying to say crypto is like something else. My own personal opinion is that crypto needs to be its own asset type.
Yes, it does.
And you have to. It easily sounds like. Well, it's kind of like saying, are you black or are you white? And crypto's somewhere in the middle, and you're always going to have somebody say, well, that's black, and the other one's going to say that's white. And so I think we're going to keep running into this problem. And this is one of my worries about regulation. Is a regulation is saying it's black or it's white, and they come and they see what GameFi is doing, and they're like, that's a banking product.
The internet is a series of tubes through which you send cats. Yes, this is always the problem. But I mean, for me personally, and I'm not going to say that we have all the answers. I mean, God knows we're trying to figure all of this stuff out. Just as much as everybody else is. All that we can do is do the best that we can to create something that is sustainable and lasts for people, and does good stuff. That's what we want to do with this. And yes, and maybe bringing it back to your previous question. Yes, obviously this is a business. We do definitely want to make money while doing this, because you can't do a whole hell of a lot without it.
Well, I try to make that point for people who are like, Gala's just in for making money, and it's like, well, no shit they are. And there's one of the problems I had when I was a programmer is, why do you, and this is not to you, this is generic, why do you guys develop this software to where it barely works, and then you put it out there, and the boss tells me, you got to keep the lights on, dude. And this is where we're working on a replacement for that. And in the meantime, we have something that we don't prefer. And I hear a lot of people who don't have a lot of introspection or experience on this getting mad about how the lights are kept on and how the bills are paid. And sometimes you have to put things out earlier. And sorry. Sure. So it's part of the sausage making of software. You've got to have the earlier versions before you can have the better versions. And people are going to put things out because they're going to make money sooner. There's that, but then also, we need data, right? To make something awesome, it takes data. You need to know how people are going to behave. What are people going to do when they play this type of game? When they're interfacing with this type of ecosystem, what is their response to that going to be? How can we make sure that whatever it is that, we build works in a way that is positive for the majority of users? And it's not always an easy thing to figure out, but it's definitely something that, for us, we work hard at this stuff. And no, we're not perfect. Yes, there's definitely room to improve. I will always be the first one to say that. But we do our best with it, and we're trying to create something that, that actually works. Well, okay. So I feel like we've been going for quite a while, and I want to honor your time, because I know you are extremely busy, and we have just grabbed an hour and 43 minutes of your time. So I'm kind of wanting to wind down, but sure. There was a couple things that I asked in the beginning that I promised I'd get back to, about Gala in general, if you didn't mind.
Sure.
Okay. I'm trying. This is going to be a total switch of gears, but I wanted to kind of wind down on the SpiderTanks. Let me flip my the Faz radio thing. In fact, I don't think I've had it here the entire time. I wanted to get into, it was the notion of being spread too thin, and I see a lot of people that are really worried about everything Gala is doing at once. Gala is getting really big. You have Gala Games, Gala Film, Gala Music, and a lot of people aren't really understanding film and music right now, because games being older, being around longer, is producing a lot more tangible results, it would seem, than Gala Music and Gala Film. And
that's primarily a feature of the sort of the pipeline, right? So games has been working longer to push things through, and this is why you're starting to see a bunch of stuff hitting all at once, and in fairly rapid succession. So yeah, that's definitely a part of that. Film and music definitely working on their own things, and to the point where people worry about us being spread too thin, etc. I know vanishingly little about what happens inside of film and music because that's not my primary area of focus, and so yeah, that's basically it. They have totally separate teams, totally separate structures for the most part, and we're building totally different things. So yeah, don't always see a lot of that.
So my last question for you is the kind of off SpiderTanks topic one too. I thought you did a great job talking about that honor system. A lot of people, I think, are really going to get a lot out of that. But so. the next biggest topic that there's conversations on is transparency from Gala, right? So we talk about this this spectrum of transparency.
He's putting his hand in front of his face. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I can imagine it. I don't actually even know if I know what you look like, but I'm imagining you with your hand in front of your face. Go for it.
Yeah. So you have this group of people who want to know, who want you to post on the Gala site your entire books. And you have the other side of it, which understands kind of how this works. Every company should do that. Yeah. So maybe if you could, and this is going to be a toughie, but if you could do your best to explain maybe to a lot of the people, what exactly when you say Gala's transparent and more transparent than everybody else, what does that mean? What does transparency mean to the people who are part of the Gala ecosystem?
Okay. Well, I mean, I think that this is the way that I would look at it. And we have an interesting, I don't want to call it a problem per se, but it's a thing. Okay. And that is that we're working in a primarily Web3 world. Okay. And in this Web3 world, you have certain standards that people have for the concept of transparency. And this is a world in which you have DAOs and you have completely open GitHub repos and you have, all of these things. Okay. And that is seen as, okay, well, that is transparent. Okay. Now, from a Web 2 perspective, that's just fucking clown shoes. Okay.
That's the problem that they have, right? They're thinking you're going to dump everything out there. Define what they can reasonably expect from Gala's perspective on what transparent is.
What I want to make sure here, is I want to switch this and reframe this. I would like, from the perspective of transparency, to be compared to a privately held game development company in the Web 2 space. We are not a DAO. We do not operate like a DAO. There is not going to be any DAO-like behavior for the most part here, but I want you to look at, from the game development perspective, what does it look like to see a Last Expedition stream like the one that we had today, and I'll talk about that a little bit here, or a stream, or not even a stream, ta-da, we have a new game from a larger game publisher? Okay. What is it like to have a Discord where you can drop into and say, hey, Bitbender, fuck you. I don't like this thing that you're doing. And then have me actually engage with you.
Fuck you very much. Thank you.
Exactly. Or have you, like, I don't know, go knock on Twitter's door and ask to see the CEO. Let me know how that works out.
Hey, Elon would ban you from Twitter as well as fire you from the chat.
Okay, fine. Now, then the question would be, what is it like to have a completely outside of my control world like Faz Academy, where I go in there and occasionally get completely dumped on by people.
Hey, people are saying that you go into CFA to manage us. I
go in there to talk to you guys, for fuck's sake. I mean, like how can I? There's people in there I can't manage. Like, good Lord. But like seriously, you think I'm managing that shit?
I promised Titan I wouldn't get you started on that.
No. We're gonna start. It's been started. It's been started.
Well, what happens is, and I get this a lot because I really try to hold people to some sort of accountability or logic when they bring stuff up. And of course, if anybody has a problem with you, and I hold them to, I don't know what they're saying. Now I'm a Gala apologist, and Titan is the number one person who calls me that. But it becomes a problem. It's like, how do you even go out among the community outside of your own Discord without being accused of trying to manage other people?
Well, and I think
or manage your message.
It's really, let me
That's a good way to put it, Faz.
This happened to me last night. Okay. I was in the grocery store. I did not want to be in the grocery store. I had to go buy some stuff. I did not want to go out and buy some stuff. I was in a grumpy mood. I was running around because I had ordered, my wife wanted me to bring home takeout. Okay, so I had ordered the takeout and I'm like running through the grocery store trying to get her list of stuff that she wanted me to bring. She organizes her list like a crazy person, in that she doesn't like group the fruits and vegetables together, and like stuff isn't grouped. It's just like, I want these things and then I want these things, and oh, by the way, here's some more vegetables I want. Like, long story short, I'm running back and forth across the store. I am absolutely completely like, done with it. And then finally I get in line. The line is like 12 carts long. They only have one checker on duty, and he's a non-English speaking trainee. It's his second day, and they have abandoned this poor bastard, like just there dealing with everybody. And of course everybody is doing like pre-weekend shopping or whatever, and so they've got like massive carts full of stuff. Anyway, and so I'm there and I'm standing in line, and a dude's like, hey, it's so great to see you. I have no idea who this guy is.
Well, that was me.
No, could have been, right? I have no clue who this guy is. And the way that he said it, it's like, we know each other, right? And so I'm like, is this like the guy that lives down the street that I met once and I don't know really well? Like, what is the context here, right? And so I'm having this conversation with this guy, and then finally it comes out that he knows me through Gala and he's in our Discord. Now, it took 5 minutes of me feeling super awkward, not being able to figure out who the hell he was to get to that point. But at the end of all of that, okay, my job as me, okay, it doesn't matter how I feel about anything, is to be there, talk to the guy, agree to meet him for a beer, and take a selfie with him if he wants. So when I go into Faz Academy, it doesn't matter how I feel. It doesn't matter whether or not I necessarily agree with any one thing. I'm not there to manage anybody. What I'm there to do is to communicate. And because I know why I do this, okay, I do this, and anyone who has seen the things that I have done in the past knows that I do this because I give a shit. Okay, I know that not everyone agrees with me on this. In fact, I've seen people call me out and say that I don't care. But if I didn't care, I wouldn't be there. If I didn't care, I wouldn't take the crap. Okay, I am paid well, but I am not paid well enough to deal with all of the shit that I get put through. I am paid well, but I am not paid well enough to put up with death threats. But yet, I am still there.
And that's very poignant, because it's the same thing that Faz and I talk about here too. If we didn't care about the Gala ecosystem, we wouldn't bother asking you to come on.
Well,
We wouldn't bother talking about it in the Discord.
I think people miss the human side
passionate.
here.
Yeah, we're passionate about what's being built. We don't agree with you all the time on the approach that you guys take.
And to be completely fair, I don't necessarily agree with the approaches that we take sometimes. Okay, it's not like Bitbender is sitting here with a control board making all the decisions. That's not how this goes. You know, I mean, there's all sorts of stuff that happens that I'm like, yeah, maybe I would have done that differently. And in fact, in retrospect, there's all sorts of things that I would do differently. You know, but I do have to say, I appreciate your guys' passion. I appreciate that you have all sorts of things that you have questions about and that you're willing to ask about. Okay, I believe in the ecosystem we're building. I believe in the way that we're building it. I believe in all of these different bits and pieces that may not have the ideal implementation, or especially not the ideal implementation right out the gate. I mean, some of this stuff that you're seeing, like Honor, like this is an Honor v.1. Okay, like this shit will be improved. It will be made better over time, but we have to do something. We have to get something out the door. There is no such thing as a product that launches that is perfect on day one. Never happens.
Well, I think it's just lost on a lot of people when they start looking at their games or crypto, that there's humans doing this.
Yes. Oh, very much so. And there's two things that I want to say, if you guys don't mind. And I'm sorry I'm taking your guys' time, because I know you're trying.
Hey, we're here for you, man.
Yeah. We're sorry that we're keeping you so long with your grandma, and you're probably out of cookies.
You're the one who gets up at 4 a.m. Jesus Christ.
So I made dinner for them before I came up here, so hopefully they've eaten. We'll see. Basically, there's 2 points. The first point is, I want to thank everybody, okay, in the CFA Gala stuff room. Okay, absolutely everybody.
Even the assholes?
Even the people who, you know, there's a few people in there that are pretty serious detractors. There's a few people in there who are some former Gala people who pretty clearly have some axes to grind. There's a few people in there who, you know, I mean, I'll just call a couple of them out. Old Man Smithers has absolutely been holding us to task on a lot of different things, and I appreciate that. HB definitely has some stuff to talk about. Look at Old Man
Smithers' logo icon. Look at his logo right there as PFP. I mean, you should know that it's coming, right?
I sat next to a guy who looked exactly like him on the plane the other day. It was creepy. Like, it was really creepy. But anyway, like,
HB, Old Man Smithers,
Anthony Ra, you know, all of these people, Glock.js, like there's all sorts of people in there who
hold you to the fire.
They do a little bit of holding of the feet to the fire, but they do it because they give a shit. Even the people who do it
negatively,
people who do it negatively and people who do it with the intent to harm, do so because they think they're doing the right thing. Okay, in their mind, somehow that makes sense, and you know, oh well, I'm just gonna say this shit, and it's gonna, you know, it's gonna make everybody think bad things, and that's good because I'm trying to help people, and I think that, you know, Gala's fucking up.
I would suggest that those people that do that repeatedly are trying to manage in the same way that they would accuse that you're managing.
And I'm not gonna go so far as to say that, but my point is that everybody does the thing that they think is the right thing to do. Okay, and I can't fault people for that. The only thing that I can say is that the proof in the long term will be in what is built. Okay, if you don't
watch
believe
what they
us,
do, not what they say.
if you don't believe us that we're going to release these awesome games, fine, don't. But I hope you enjoy playing them. Okay, if you don't believe that Gala music is going to be cool, fine, that's great. I hope you like music. Okay, I don't wish ill will on anybody here. And you know, I mean, today, great example, absolutely fantastic example was the, you know, and in fact, there have been a few people like talking about this in the chat, you know, not mentioning the last expedition nodes on the live stream today. Like, to be completely fair, like I was so excited to see those videos. Okay, 2 of which I had only seen for the first time on that stream. Okay, that I was sort of quote unquote presiding over, if you will. That that when that happened, I forgot to talk about the damn nodes. Like,
well, you're going to talk about them here then, right?
I don't want to monopolize time. This isn't the sales pitch thing. Like, my point is that, like, in a situation like this, people have questions. I don't begrudge them having questions. I don't begrudge them asking questions. It's totally fine that they, you know, don't like it and they feel that the nodes don't do anything. They're wrong. But, you know, it's just, it's, sorry, I just saw your other chat here.
Yes, and that can be the last one, by the way.
Yeah.
Rocket Life, hang tight. I've just alerted everybody. Yeah. We're gonna get to you. I
Your
promise.
Your question's gonna be last, but we're trying to wrap it up and failing.
My point is that I really appreciate all of you guys. I'm sorry that we're not the best at communicating sometimes. I'm sorry that sometimes we don't give all of the information that we should. Oftentimes, more often than not, that is my fuck up personally, because I get so wrapped up in other stuff. But, like, if you don't like it, just watch and see.
I would say, yeah, I constantly tell people, you know, everybody's here following Gala, you know, with their nose to the TV screen, waiting for the next thing. And if it's not proceeding, go get a life for a while. Go do something else. Come up with a hobby. Come back like 2 months later. I mean, shit happens. I did that for a while myself last year. I got into Doctor Who cards.
That's what you got to do sometimes.
And you know, everybody's like, well, it's people want to say so many unhappy things about Gala. It's like, okay, where's your life then? So yes, I got into Doctor Who cards, Doctor Who Worlds Apart cards, and they're pretty cool. I haven't gotten back to them because I've done this more, but I did that for a while, and I suggest people go look that up, see how that works.
Okay, hit me with Rocket Units thing.
The very last question. Yes.
Yes.
I know Rocket Unit's working on some stuff. Let's.
And he's working on a light paper, right?
That guy does these summaries in both CFA and Gala, and they are epic. This guy is the bomb. All right. Yep. So he wants to know, Bitbender, is Silk Power the same thing as Dynamic Silk Multiplier?
You've got 20 seconds to respond.
No idea.
Oh no!
Oh shit! You totally fucked up. Rocket Unit has stumped Bitbender. He gets the prize today.
He gets the prize. So, I will send the here. This is what I'll do. I will get Rocket Unit. Okay, if he doesn't have one, and 9 other people in your server. I'll get you guys superior keys.
Woo! I like
yes.
That. I'll tell you where to send them, and then I'll give them out.
Okay.
Bitbender, could you help him out and maybe point him to the right person who could answer that question? Would that be Chair Bandit, maybe?
It probably wouldn't be Chair Bandit. It would be somebody who's not in our Discord, because we keep the economists in a small box where they can economize. Like, seriously. I think I brought
don't
one
tell
of
the
them
names
onto
and
it.
addresses of your economists, or they'll be shot.
I once put one of them on a live stream once for like 5 minutes and was like, oh no, that we're never doing that ever again.
They know what he looks like now.
Yeah, it's I think he was only on audio, but anyway, it's yeah. Send me a write-up if you want, Rocket Unit. Just send it to me as a DM. You can either send it on Twitter or on Discord. I know we've talked on both. Just send it to me and I will get it answered for you.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much.
That's an example of somebody who really wanted to I see him working pretty hard and trying to be.
He's awesome, and I want to find a way to help too. So shoot me that, and then we'll go from there.
Well, then he's going to have to get one of those access passes. That's great. Yeah. I came up with that because I had some extra access passes, but I'm perfectly fine with you giving out some on your own.
Happy to. Happy to.
Can I sell them? No, just kidding.
Awesome, guys. Well, let's wrap this up and we'll go from there.
Okay.
Yeah, tell us about this Legends thing.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. The note. Is there anything you can tell us about the node sale for Last Expedition?
Oh, the Last Expedition node sale is totally cool. Basically, what it is at the end of the day, your Last Expedition node is your own game server. Okay, so it's basically exactly what we talked about before, and it comes with, I don't remember how many access passes, but I believe it's like 25 early access passes that you can give out to your friends and get them playing on your own server.
Is this going to be the first node that the game is playable on the server, or I guess SpiderTanks?
We've already so and to clarify, because again, I know I wasn't supposed to, but I have been watching the chat. I think who was it? HB was like, "Oh, they said that there wasn't a node." No, what we said is that the UE5 version was not yet playable on the nodes. The UE4 version, we've been playing on the nodes this entire time, and today during his update, we had like an all hands, and the node team gave an update. Chris Shooter showed the impact of Last Expedition as it played on a workload and what that was doing to the system, which was super cool. So it will be a game server that you can run on your own, plus 25 early access passes. And I honestly have no idea what the price point is on it because I have not been involved in that at all. And did a terrible job.
Oh, you're giving out Last Expedition pre whatchamacallits, not Superiors?
No. I'm giving you Superior early access passes, but the node thing is for Last Expedition nodes.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's super cool, and anyone who believes that it doesn't yet do anything can just go ahead and actually watch us play on nodes on the live streams that we did like 4 months ago.
I don't have any Last Expedition NFTs whatsoever. Can I play it if I buy a node? And are they going to be expensive?
The NFTs? I don't think we've done any NFTs for Last Expedition at all. Although I will say that our sort of strategy on NFT pricing is changing pretty radically. In that we are much more cognizant, and this is something we can actually do with GYRI. We're much more cognizant that there needs to be bear market certainly helps with this, but that there needs to be something for everybody at every price point. And when we were originally doing, and I'll just be pretty candid about this if you guys don't mind, when we were originally when we first started selling NFTs, Ethereum gas prices were like $70 for some of those NFT purchases. It was absolutely insane. And so the prices of NFTs sort of got stuck in sort of okay, well, what would make sense to pay $70 shipping and handling for, right?
Well, I had actually thought when Miranda's first came out, when I got into things, that you were going to have a lot of lower end NFTs and higher end, and there would be something for everybody. But it became this whole elite thing.
It got it, and again, this is one of those situations where I don't necessarily agree with the way that things went. But I do know the way that they're intended to go in the future, and that leaves much more open for everybody. There should be something at every level for everybody.
Yeah, you got to hook them with the free shit first for them to get for them to buy more. The whole heroin argument, right?
I don't know that the heroin argument is a good way to put it.
That's how I like
frickin' air quotes. The heroin argument. Good Lord.
I'm talking like my redneck ancestors there, like I used to be about 30 years ago. All right. Anyway, very, very much appreciate you spending this much time. Don't be a stranger, because you get all talky, and then you like diss me for months, man.
Hey, come on.
I know, but I know you're busy.
So
guys,
it's only
busy,
when I'm
man.
traveling. It's only when I'm traveling that it gets hard, because I hate doing stuff on my phone because they have gigantic German bratwursts for thumbs. And so when I start doing things on my phone, it gets really, really not fun.
No, I very much appreciate you taking this time. I know that just seeing all the pictures everywhere you're flying and stuff like that I can tell that you're supremely busy.
Same.
In private chat, I've been telling you to like find ways to stress out less and stuff like that. And you need people to fly for you instead of you.
That would be nice. I need to teleport. So if somebody could just invent that, that'd be cool.
I don't know. I'd be doing Zoom meetings. Start telling them that you're afraid of flying.
Maybe I am afraid of flying. Who knows?
See. Anyway,
cool,
very much appreciate you coming on. This is you definitely didn't have to stay on this long. And I appreciate
Delighted to be here, guys. I appreciate you taking the time too.
Thanks a lot, Bitbender.
Thanks, guys. You guys have a great night.
All right.
Peace.
Oh, wait, Titan. We have our pre-recorded outro to do. Can you like say your thing so that people will know?
Oh, absolutely. Hey, like, subscribe, and throw some comments below. That helps us, which in turn helps us provide you with much, much better content every week. Thanks for being a listener. Thanks for supporting the channel.
And thanks for sitting through our pre-recorded outro.